Bread is a staple in households across the entire world. We've been eating it for the past 12,000 years. It actually became popularized in America roughly around the 1800s. And today, the bread industry is valued somewhere around $218 billion. That's with a B. So bread is a highly important part of our everyday life. If you were to go to the store right now and buy a loaf of bread, you'd be paying somewhere between $1 to $2.86, which isn't too bad, but if you do make bread at home, is that actually more cost effective for you? Or is it really better to just go to the store and buy it yourself? Well, let's find out.
We're going to start by blooming our yeast. So that's going to take 3/4 cups of water, half a cup of milk, and we're going to throw that into a microwave for a few seconds until it gets to about 98 degrees Fahrenheit. After that, we are going to add in 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast. Go ahead and stir that around for a minute just to get it nice and incorporated. Let that sit aside for about 8 to 10 minutes. Now we're going to make our tangzong. That's going to take 4 tablespoons of milk along with 2 tablespoons of water and 2 tablespoons of bread flour. Go ahead and whisk that together on very low heat and just keep stirring until it starts to come together and thicken up, and you want to make it into this wet flour lump. Go ahead and set that aside, and we will move into making our dough. You will start with 3 cups of bread flour, followed by 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 1 tablespoon of sugar. Put that on your mixer with your dough hook. Add in your tangzong and add in your yeast mixture. Let that run on low for a few minutes. Then turn it up to medium, scrape down the sides of your mixer just to get everything nice and incorporated. Then as the dough comes together, you're going to add in 3 tablespoons of room temperature softened butter, one at a time. You want to make sure you do this one at a time as each one incorporates. Then you just let that run for about 8 minutes or so, letting the mixer do a lot of the work for kneading the dough. Now you will lightly flour a work surface, pull your dough out, and start kneading your dough. You want your dough to have the consistency of something smooth, so add flour until you reach that. What you want to do is pull in with your fingers on the base of the ball, and you're trying to pinch the underneath. And when you're turning and pulling underneath, that should make a nice solid seal at the bottom. Next, you're going to grease up a bowl, glass or metal, whatever you have, and throw your dough loaf into your bowl. Spray grease over top of your dough loaf, and cover that with a damp towel. And we're going to set the dough aside for about 1 hour to 2 hours till it doubles in size. Once it's doubled in size, you can go ahead and punch it down to get all the gas out of it. Flour a work surface, plop it on the work surface, flour the top, flour your rolling pin, and you start rolling out your dough. You want to roll your dough to whatever width your bread pan is and about a 1/2 inch thick. And my son was very curious to know what Daddy was doing, and then my other son wanted to know as well, so I have both my boys watching me. Then you're going to take one end of the dough and roll it all the way to the other end, and you're going to make sure that you do this a nice tight roll, that way everything seals up really evenly. Once you get it all the way rolled out, you're going to roll the ends down to try and seal everything up. I was supposed to pinch the other end of the loaf, but I forgot to do that here, but it doesn't really matter, it still came out okay. Then we're going to spray our bread pan. We're going to throw our loaf of bread in our bread pan, and we will put that aside for another hour or two till it doubles in size as well. Once that has doubled in size, we will go ahead and throw that into a 350 degree Fahrenheit oven for about 35 to 40 minutes. Once those 35 to 40 minutes are up, you will pull it out, take the bread out of the bread pan, set it on a cooling rack, and that's it. There's your white bread.
So this loaf of bread took us about 3 hours to make, but the reality is it only took about 20-25 minutes of actual labor. The rest of it's just waiting, right? You're just waiting for the dough to rise, you're waiting for the proofing, you're waiting for it to bake. So it's just a lot of waiting. But the actual cost of this loaf of bread was about $2.20. And for a bread of this caliber of quality, you're probably spending somewhere around $3 to $5 at the store. So cost-wise, yeah, you're saving yourself some money. Taste-wise, you know, it's good. It's got all the qualities you want in bread. It's nice and airy, it's fluffy. You can see the spring back. This would be great for toast, or better yet, be really good for French toast. You want that like 2-inch thick, you know, about to be diabetic in a coma by noon? Yeah, it's great for that. Overall, not a whole lot of work. Price is right where you'd want it to be for the quality of the bread that you're getting, and it tastes just like any other bread. If you're willing to invest the time, then it's definitely worth it. If you think it takes too long to wait for all that, and you got too many other things you got going on, you can't wait on it, then you're better off just buying yourself a loaf of bread. Really your choice here. Thanks for watching.